Do you recognize that song? That's what we call a standard. It's from the Great American Songbook. It's a song called I Want to Be Happy. And it was written by Vincent Yeomans, that's the composer, and the lyrics are by a gentleman named Irving Caesar. It was written for the 1925 musical No, No, Nanette. And the song is used several times throughout the musical. It's kind of a running theme, and it represents various people trying to please each other, trying to make each other happy. I love a lot of the songs from the Great American Songbook, these standards as we call them. I like this song because it's a very happy song. It's relatively simple, and I think it would be a great song for you to learn how to play. So what we're going to do is take a look at the sheet music or the lead sheet and analyze some of the chords. Some of the chord symbols might be new to you because there are different ways to write some of these chord symbols. So we'll take a look at those. We'll figure out the tune. We'll figure out how to play the chords, and then we'll put it all together. So we're going to take this step by step, and I'm going to show you how you can play this song, I Want to Be Happy. So I'm going to switch now to the overhead camera, and at the same time, we're going to look at the lead sheet, and we'll put this all together. Let's take a look at this lead sheet together. And you'll notice that we are in the key of C. And take a look at that first chord symbol. That might look a little unfamiliar to you. You've got C, and then you've got this triangle thing. And I've never actually shown you that particular chord symbol. But the triangle is a shortcut for C major 7. So we're actually going to use a C major 7 chord there. So there are different ways to notate that you want to play C major 7. Up to this point, I've used C with a little MAJ 7, and that's the same. You'll see that in some lead sheets as well. But here we've got C major 7 with the little triangle. That shows you it's a C major 7. You'll see the next chord is C sharp diminished 7. So you got C sharp, and you have that little tiny circle, and then a 7, and that shows you that you have a diminished 7th chord. And then the next chord after that, this is something that we haven't seen yet, and that's actually D minor 7, but it's written as D minus 7. So you can either write D with a little M7 or D minus 7. I don't know if that's actually a minus sign, but you know what I mean. And so that's D minor 7. The other chords I think you will recognize. So let's begin by looking at the melody. If this is a song that you have never played before or you've never heard it, then this is where your ability to read basic music notation will come in happy. Happy. I was looking at the title. It will come in handy. If you're reading the notes, and what you want to do perhaps is find a recording of this. I just played it for you at the beginning of this video, so you've heard the tune. But I'm going to play it for you. Follow along with the lead sheet, starting out. Now, as you can see, that is a very simple melody, and so it's the chord changes that help make it a little bit more interesting. So we just have this little phrase, and then we have the response, and then the conclusion. And then you can see those 4 chords there. That's what we call the turnaround. So it goes from, and it's actually doing a run from the circle of fifths. And then we come back and we repeat that tune, and now we're at the second ending, and now we have this, like the B section, if you like. And now we go back to the beginning. So as you can see, this is not a terribly complex melody. It's actually not a very complex song, but I'll tell you, jazz musicians can have a field day with this. Let's take a look at the chords now. As I mentioned before, that C with the triangle and the 7 means it's a C 7th chord. And so we have C7, or excuse me, C major 7. Then it goes to C sharp diminished 7. So C major 7, and then on beat 3 of the second measure, and then we go to D minor 7, from there to G7, back to D minor 7, G7, and then here we have our turnaround, and we can play it like this. We don't necessarily have to play all these chords in root position. There's C6. We can play A minor 7 this way instead of going, that's kind of awkward. Could do that if you like. But this makes it easier to go from A minor 7 to D minor 7, G7, and then very easily we're back on C major 7 again. But now let's jump to the second ending. So we've just finished playing this G7, and you can see where it says 2 coda. We're not going to the coda yet, but we're going to ending number 2. And we just kind of hang on to that C major 6, I guess you could call it C major 6, C6 chord. Holds on for 2 measures. Now we have, and we've talked about this in previous videos, we've got what's known as a borrowed chord. This adds some color now. All of a sudden, this G minor 7 jumps out at you. It's like, wow, where did that come from? Well, that chord is borrowed from the parallel minor. You remember how that works? We have C major, and then we have C minor. We're going to use C natural minor, and the G minor comes from, this is the 5 chord in C natural minor, and then we make it a 7th chord by adding the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th note of the scale. And we'll play it this way. We can invert it. Now this leads us to C7, which leads us to F major 7. And then we have this interesting chord. This is B flat 9. A very colorful chord to put in there. You see, you could actually just stay on F major 7. But this makes it even more interesting. So there's F major 9 in a different version. And I just put the F up here, and I put the B flat there. Anyway, it's a very colorful chord, and it's kind of like the climax of the song. You know, when skies are gray and you say you are blue. And then it jumps from there back to the C major 7. And then we have our C sharp diminished 7, D7, and G7, and then it goes back to the third verse, and then it's where it says 2 coda, it jumps down to that C6, and then they give you those 2 chords in parentheses if you want to play it all the way through again. So let's put the chords and the melody together in a very simple fashion. We're going to play a chord at the beginning of every measure unless it changes halfway through the measure, and it'll sound something like this. Here's our turnaround. Now, what you might want to do is after you've figured out the tune, play through the chords. Just practice the chords on their own in rhythm. So you think to yourself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get used to moving around here. Now your left hand might take some time getting used to playing these chords. And so no matter how slowly you have to go to get it, that's okay. I've been playing these type of things for a long time, so I'm able to move pretty easily, and you will be able to as well as you keep practicing this, playing through it. We can actually play the chords on beats 1 and 3. And so on. Now, we could actually add some fancy things into this. You can also work on playing some chords and melody in the right hand. Now, you want to master what I've just been doing before you try getting any fancier. But if you already figured all this out and you're going, I'm playing that pretty smooth, but I'd like to play even a little bit of a thicker texture. Now we can spread the chord out between two hands. I've still got the melody here on the top, but we're spreading out the chords. We can even, just depends on how big your hands are, but let's keep it simple for now. Notice here I'm playing this whole D minor 7, but I also have these two notes in the bass. Here we have our turnaround. We can play full chords with both hands. And then you can fill out this space here with just about anything you want on the C6 chord. And here we can spread out the G minor 7 between two hands. And this is just a much richer sound. Here comes that B flat. You can even jump down here, play it like that, or like this. Here you can spill out. You can fill the space out a little bit here. Play a little bit of arpeggio. Once again, just scratching the surface here as to what you can do with this song. Eventually, you could play some fancier things in the left hand. Oh, don't play it like that. Mistakes are part of the process, by the way. If you hit a wrong note, it is not the end of the world. As you can see, I'm still here and the world didn't end. So, now what if somebody were playing the melody and you just had to play the chords? Well, you can do something like this. Da, 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 da. happy too. Well, I suppose I could have sung the words there since they're right there in front of me. But anyway, we can take this even farther, but I think that's going to be enough for this video to get you started. So let me know how you do with this. If you play this song, and I hope you do because it's a fun song, let me know how it goes. And if there are other songs that you would like to learn to play, we can analyze them, look at the chords, look at the melody, put it all together, figure out a way to play it. Let me know, what songs would you like to learn? They can be from any era. I chose an old standard because I like the old standards. You could choose a rock and roll song, a pop tune, a show tune, a jazz tune, anything you want. Anything you want to learn, I will help you learn it. So remember, the music is in you. I want you to learn how to make your own music. Not be a mere consumer of music, but be a maker of music as well. Thanks for watching. Any questions, any comments, any song requests, put those in the comment section for me, and I will be responding to every comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more song tutorials and whatever else we happen to do here on At Home with Music. Thanks again.